YouTube. Mr. King coming to you live from the studio. Here are the questions for the day. Please pause the video now and answer them. Remember, if something floats, less dense. More dense, sinks. Okay. 2 more weeks until spring break. And your grades will be final after spring break. I still have to update grades in this class. Today, by the end, you should be able to explain where your options are after you graduate from high school. That's a goal. We're going to be taking notes. Just go to Google Classroom, go to classwork, week 9, Monday, Life After High School Guide. And open up the notes here. Yep, I'm going to go over the answers as we go. The first two are dependent on you. Okay? So I made this guide because I realized a lot of people don't really know or have heard a lot of different things about what are your options after high school. So I want to talk about each one in depth and how to pay for them. So the goal for today is you understand your options after high school, you know that college is available to everyone, and you know that college is an investment, which means that going to college will open up more options that'll pay you back later after you pay them initially. Okay. So the first thing I want you to think about is what do you enjoy or what do you want to do after high school? What do you enjoy? Like, consider what classes you like taking. What are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do after school? Because if you do what you enjoy doing, you'll never have to work hard. That is what Gandhi said. So, like, for example, if you enjoy games, you could try computer science. If you enjoy drawing, you could try 3D animation. That industry's going. Like anime technology is getting really good. You can try and be an artist or a graphic designer. If you really enjoy helping people, there's a ton of things you can do. You could be a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a counselor, a lawyer, a social worker, a psychologist. And if you don't know, it's totally okay. The point was try and aim what you want to do for what you enjoy doing. Next, I want you to think about what is important to you. Like, what do you want to have when you grow up? Do you want a family? Do you want a high-paying job? Do you want a business? Do you want to help others? Do you really want to be your own boss? Just think about these things because that will also depend on what you want to do. So, like, for example, if you want a high-paying job, college gives you the most options for a high-paying job. If you want a family, you want a job that is not super busy. You want to avoid like working graveyard shifts. And if you want to be your own boss, the best way to do that is to start your own business. Okay. But note, I am biased towards college because college graduates make more money in a lifetime on average, especially in California. If you look at this graph, this is how much money people will make over their lifetime versus if they get a bachelor's degree or some college versus high school versus drop out of high school. So you make a lot more money over your lifetime if you end up getting a bachelor's degree. So that's why I'm a little bit biased towards it, because it gives you the most options. Okay. Here are the 3 different types of colleges. We have universities. So this is like your UCs, your CSUs, University of Pacific. Those are all universities. And then you have your community colleges. That's like Delta. Those are usually local. And then you have your trade schools, which are all over the place, but you can usually find one that's local. For example, the one in Stockton is UEI Stockton. The one near me is Renton Technical College. There's also the Bradford School of Nursing. Trade is the least well known, so we're going to go over that one too. The way college works, basically, 2 years into college, you choose a subject that you want to get your degree in. So what you choose to study can determine what jobs you have. So right now, you're in high school, you have to take all the classes. You have to take a math, a science, some sort of art, and PE, things like that. In college, after 2 years, they'll be like, what do you want to focus on? I focused on science, My major was in microbiology, so I took a lot of science classes because that was my major. Whereas other teachers probably majored in English or they majored in history or dance, and they would have taken classes that focused on those. But note that what you choose will affect what jobs you can have. For example, like if you major in chemistry, that will open up to a lot of doors. You could be a scientist or a doctor or a nurse or a teacher or a lawyer. And I'm going to give you some information about the 3 different types of colleges. So university, what's special about that? It's 4 years to get a degree. The degree is called a bachelor's. Most high-paying jobs, it's like your doctors, your software engineers, your dentists, psychologists, your teachers, they all require a bachelor's degree. And note, other colleges, they'll take everyone. Universities can be exclusive. Like UCLA, USC, Stanford, Harvard, those are competitive universities. Whereas like Sacramento State, University Pacific are less competitive. They take in mostly everyone. Note, universities are more expensive than community and technical colleges. The average cost of a university, if you go in state, is $10,000 per year. In-state schools and public schools are cheaper than private schools. So like if you go to UCLA versus University Pacific, you'd be paying less for UCLA. UCLA is a public school, which means that it gets money from the government. So that's why it's cheaper. University of Pacific will try and offer you more scholarships to try and balance it out. But typically, public schools and in-state are your best choices if you're trying to save money. So like these colleges versus those ones. These are in-state and public versus private, and then out-of-state is Harvard. If you're not sure what a college will cost you, just Google it. Like you could say UCLA in-state tuition. Community college. Community college is only 2 years compared to university being 4. Community college gives you an associate's degree. An associate's degree can give you a higher pay, or more job options than a high school diploma. But it may not be as useful as a bachelor's. That's the downside. That's why a common route is going from community college to a university. So it's really nice to transfer. So to save money and time, some people go to community college and then use a university. Transferring from community college to UCLA or to any prestigious university can save you time, and it can also be easier to actually get in. Since UCLA is competitive, it's easier to get into if you transfer. For example, Chelly gets an associate's degree in bio from Delta, but she wants a bachelor's degree, so she transfers to UCLA for a bio degree. Yep, that's an option a lot of people can take. That's why it can be nice to take Delta while you're in school, in high school. The last and least known school or type of college is the technical or trade school or vocational school. So most colleges are designed to get you a degree that allows you to get a wide variety of jobs. So if you go to a university, you could be a lawyer, a doctor, a businessman, a nurse, but technical colleges are specific to a career. So technical colleges will give you a degree or certification for a certain job that's high in demand. So I'll explain that a little bit more. So the advantage of technical schools is it's a great way to save money, and they're all jobs where they need more people. So it's easier to get a job right after college. So if you wanted to be a radiation therapist, you go to UEI Stockton or a technical school for that. You tell them, I want to be a radiation therapist, and then they'll give you a license or certification and classes to be that thing. It's just hard to switch after you decide it. You'd have to go back. Other jobs that our local technical college offers include respiratory therapist, dental assistant, electrician, plumber, IT technician, nurse, web designer, and there's many more, but those are the main ones. So if you want to be any of those things, technical college would be your best option. Now I'm going to go over the pros and cons of a four-year university. Please put these in your notes. Pros for university: more options for jobs. You go to university, you're going to have more jobs available to you. You also have a higher chance of a high-paying job. And since universities are the biggest type of college, you'll have more opportunities to make connections for future jobs. The cons are it's more expensive, higher tuition, and it takes 4 years, and it's not always close to home. So it can be more expensive because you're leaving home. It can also be a positive if you do want to get out of Stockton or wherever city you're in. Okay. Another bonus for universities is a lot of people say that college will be some of the best years of your life. And that's mainly because it's a very social time with a lot of young people that have similar interests to you. And bonus, also, it's a good chance to be on your own for the first time. A lot of people really like that independence they get from university. Now, pros and cons for community college. Pros: community college is the cheapest option. Some are actually free in California for your first 2 years, and it only takes you 2 years to get a degree. The cons, though: less option for jobs. Less options for jobs if you don't continue to a university. And then pros and cons for technical college. Remember, technical college is specific to your career. So if you go to them if you already know you want to be a cop or a chef or a dental assistant or a nurse or construction worker. The pros of technical college: not very expensive, and they're designed to get you a job right away. The cons, though: you need to know what job you want, and they won't offer jobs for everything. You can't go to technical college for a doctor. Only certain jobs that are really high in demand. Okay. Next, remember that no college is an option. Not all jobs require someone with a college degree. Those jobs would include like an entertainer, a store clerk, like a store manager, a truck driver, a mechanic, a photographer, a welder. Those are all jobs that you can get without a college degree. Now I'm going to go over paying for college. I'm going to start it and then I'm going to finish the rest in my video tomorrow. Just remember that college does not have to be really expensive. There are lots of ways for you to save thousands of dollars and go to college possibly for free. I'm going to go over each one. I'm going to start with grants. The first thing you need to do before you apply is apply for FAFSA. Basically, how it works is the government gives money to students who need extra help to pay for college. So when you're a senior or the year before you apply to college, you need to use you and your parents' information and go to FAFSA.gov. And it's a great way where the government gives money to students that need it. For example, I applied for the FAFSA my senior year and was able to have my university tuition completely paid off. Okay, I'm going to go over that more in a sec. The FAFSA will offer you two different things. They will offer you grants and they will offer you loans. Grants, I want you to think of as free money. The most common one is the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant gives money to students who need money from their parents. That would make them dependent. If you have a job and you don't need your parents, then you just fill out the FAFSA as an independent. But most of you are dependent. The Pell Grant offers up to $6,095 per year, depending on your family's income. Also, if your university is cheaper than this, then the money left over you can use for food or for rent or whatever else you need to go to college. Textbooks. Grants, this is the last thing I want you to remember for the day. Grants do not have to be paid back. Once you get a grant, take it. Loans, on the other hand, you have to think about those more. Loans need to be paid back. You do need to pay back loans. So a loan is like an IOU. And if you don't pay back a loan, you'll be in something called debt, where you'll have a harder time getting a loan in the future. So grants, always accept them. Loans, you have to think about the interest rate and how much of the money the loan is. We'll go over loans more tomorrow. That's just the last thing I want you to remember and take away. Grants do not have to be paid back. Free money. Loans is like an IOU. You're getting money right now that you have to pay back to them later, usually with interest. Okay, that is the last thing. We will finish the rest of the notes tomorrow. You should have started this one. Yep, so you should have gotten down here. That's the last thing. Thank you, everyone. We'll finish it tomorrow. Bye.